So the big story today, the RNC is asking candidates to sign a pledge refusing to run as a third-party candidate. In a couple of hours, Donald Trump will be meeting with the party chair, Reince Priebus, in New York City, of course. And that is expected that the pledge will take center stage in that discussion. Presidential candidate New Jersey Governor Christie joins me now on this and other things this morning. Good morning, Governor.
Good
to have you with us today. Do you think it's a good idea to put him in this room and try to get him to sign this pledge?
Listen, I think if you're running for the Republican nomination for president, you should be willing to be able to support the Republican nominee. And I think there should be a sore loser rule. You know, Martha, like if you run, you can't be a sore loser and then run as an independent if you don't win the nomination. So I have no problem with it. I obviously will sign the pledge. I said it on August 6th on the stage in Cleveland. And I think it's much ado about nothing. I don't think we should be paying this much attention to it.
But in terms of strategy, you know, I mean, does this sort of push him into a corner and force him to say once again, no, I really can't promise that I will, A, back the person who runs, or B, not run as a third-party candidate? And then are you sort of nudging him into a position that many Republicans think could be suicide for the Republican nominee?
There's no position here. He's just got to make a decision. I mean, that's all. Every candidate's got to make a decision about, do you really want the nomination of our party, or do you want to have it both ways? So I've made my decision. I want the nomination of our party, and I'll support whoever the nominee is if it's not me. And that's the decision Donald has to make. And this is just, you know, a little bit too much drama. Enough. We don't need to have meetings and summits about this stuff. Make your decision. If you want to say yes, say yes. If you want to say no, like he did on the stage in Cleveland August 6th, then voters can consider that in our primary, like they consider a whole bunch of other issues and conversations. But this is kind of like pre-Labor Day weekend
What
drama.
do you think he's going to say?
I have no idea. I've known Donald Trump long enough to know I have absolutely no idea.
But here's the problem. You know, I mean, nobody wants to talk about him. Obviously, he's a front runner. And his dynamic in this race affects every one of you. So what he says today, like it or not, it has an impact on the race, doesn't it?
I don't really think it will. No, I don't. I don't think it will, Martha, because I think it's just today's story, and then there'll be tomorrow's story. You know, I mean, I think what we're forgetting about is that this election is about the American people. It's not about this stuff. I mean, we have Donald Trump and Jeb Bush going back and forth in a juvenile food fight with each other, one volleying back and forth to the other on all personal stuff, while the American people remain angry and frustrated at Congress, angry and frustrated at the president, concerned about their own lives. I mean, what I'm going to talk about is the concerns that they have about growing jobs and about, you know, getting our nation secure and having our homeland secure. So I think this is much ado about nothing. I really do.
Well, you know, the last back and forth that you're calling juvenile between them was about whether or not Jeb Bush should speak Spanish as he's running for president. Should he?
I think he should speak whatever language he wants to speak. I only speak English, Martha, so for me, I don't have an option. This is the only language you're going to hear me speaking. Every candidate should conduct their campaign the way they see fit, and then be responsible for whatever they do. And again, this is another one of those things. Do you really think the American people care about this back and forth between he and Donald?
Yeah, but you know what? On this issue, people are tweeting, you know, it's about what it gets down to is multiculturalism. Are we a nation where everybody should learn English, everyone should speak English? Or do we sort of cater to different nationalities around the country and speak different languages so that everybody feels included?
I don't think that is what it's about. This is about two people running for president who are looking to pick on each other every day and make personal, petty back and forths. Jeb Bush from Manchester this morning, wasting everybody's time on Good Morning America, you know, carping about this, Donald tweeting about it. Meanwhile, Congress doesn't pass tax reform. Congress doesn't repeal Obamacare. Meantime, our borders are not secure. Meantime, we don't have kids in college getting jobs. We have them saddled with debt. All those things killing the American people. And Donald Trump and Jeb Bush, who want to be president of the United States, are going back and forth with each other about whether he should speak Spanish or not. Who cares? Who cares? And quite frankly, the only two people who care are those two. And they should stop being so self-consumed and start talking about the American people.
All right, let's talk about Hillary, because she's also in the news very much today. One of her staffers, the person ostensibly who set up the server in her Chappaqua home, now says he's going to take the fifth. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I've said this all along. If I were the U.S. attorney looking at this, there is more than enough here to have a full-scale investigation. And if the things that are alleged are true, she's going to wind up being charged with a crime. Because either or both. She's obstructed justice by deleting these emails and or mishandled classified information. And so the FBI, I am confident, will pursue an aggressive investigation of this. I know the director of the FBI personally. He's a friend of mine. We were colleagues together in the Bush Justice Department. I believe Jim Comey is someone who will not be bullied by anybody or any politics. And so hopefully we get to the bottom of this and we get an answer. But certainly everyone has a right to exercise their constitutional rights. And so I don't say anything about the young man here who's decided to exercise his constitutional rights. But what it tells you is her answers continue to shift and change. First, no classified information. Now, no classified information that was marked as such. Now we find out, yes, in fact, there was. Right. And it's because, Martha, she won't answer any questions. You know, the other thing, you saw the way she treated Ed Henry. I'll answer one question because I think that's what you're entitled to. Well, thank you, Your Highness, Your Royal Highness. That's not what democracy is all about, and I think she's being penalized for it.
You know, one of the reasons this is interesting, that this particular person is taking the fifth, is the question not of, you know, whether what was classified, what wasn't classified, but why did she have this server in the first place? If he's the guy who's supposed to go up to the house and plug in the server and make sure that it all works, he may know the answer to that question.
Well, of course. Listen, to me, the questions are these. First, why did you have a private email server, and why were you conducting all of your business over the private email server? Second, why did you delete tens of thousands of emails from the private email server when you knew that Congress is investigating Benghazi and had, in fact, subpoenaed emails from you? Third, what did you do with the classified information? And how could you think for a second it was okay to not have the government protecting those classified secrets of the United States and allow the Russians, the Chinese, or some 18-year-old hacker off on a lark to be able to hack your private email service and be able to spread those? Who knows what's going to be released? And who knows who has them? Do the Russians have them this morning? Do the Chinese? Are they laughing about the fact that Hillary Clinton's more concerned with her own personal secrecy than she is with the security of the United States?
Does she survive this? Is she the candidate?
I don't know. I have to tell you the truth. I don't know what's going to happen with her, but I'll tell you this, Martha. She doesn't deserve to be the candidate. If she won't answer questions and be firm about it, she doesn't deserve it.
All right, we have a pledge for you, sir.
Excellent. Let's bring it over here.
Here's the pledge. We printed it out. We heard you hadn't signed it yet.
And I don't. You know what?
Are you going to run as an independent candidate?
I am not. And I don't need Reince Priebus to come and meet with me before deciding whether to do this or not. So there you go. September 3rd, 15. I'm in. I signed.
All right. We'll put this on the pile.
Excellent.
Thank you very much,
Martha,
Governor.
thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Great to see you too.
It's not a number 2 pencil, is it? By the way,
no
no eraser
baby.
on that.
Remember, that was an ink.
I got it.
No problem.